Imagine this. You are walking out your front door, the morning sun is shining, you have a cup of coffee in one hand, and you are ready to take on the day. You make it to the end of your driveway, maybe a block down the street, and you do the instinctive pocket tap. Keys check, wallet check, phone nothing. Your heart literally skips a beat. A cold rush of adrenaline floods your veins. Your stomach drops, and you pivot on your heel, sprinting back to the house as if you had left the stove on. Why does the absence of a small rectangle of glass and metal trigger the exact same biological panic response as being chased by a predator? That sheer, visceral terror of being disconnected is something most of us have felt, but we rarely stop to ask what it says about the inner workings of our minds. We tend to brush off our heavy screen time as just a bad habit or a necessary evil of modern life, but the psychological reality is much deeper and far more fascinating. Welcome to the world of nomophobia, an abbreviation for no mobile phone phobia. It is the modern age's most common invisible tether, and today, let me show you how it quietly reshapes your brain without you even noticing. You see, this isn't a story about a lack of willpower. It is a story about human connection, survival instincts, and a multi-billion-dollar attention economy built to hijack your neurology. Think about how your day unfolds. For many of us, the very first conscious action we take upon waking, before our eyes are fully adjusted to the light, is reaching over to the nightstand to silence an alarm and immediately falling into a sea of notifications. We start our day in a defensive posture, reacting to the demands of the world before we have even checked in with ourselves. As the day progresses, other subtle behaviors emerge. Have you ever felt your phone vibrate in your pocket, reached in, and found a completely blank screen? That phenomenon, known as phantom vibration syndrome, is a fascinating neurological glitch. Your brain has literally rewired its sensory expectations, remaining in a state of high alert, eagerly anticipating a digital reward to the point where it hallucinates a physical sensation. Then comes the dreaded low battery anxiety. Watch what happens to your mood when that little icon turns red and dips below 20%. A subtle, low-grade survival panic begins to simmer in the background of your mind. We start mentally mapping out the nearest power outlets, like our ancestors, foraging for water in a drought. And it doesn't stop there. We take our devices into the bathroom, unable to tolerate even 3 minutes of isolation with our own thoughts. We sit across from the people we love at dinner, physically present but mentally tethered to the device resting face down on the table, feeling its magnetic pull. When night falls, instead of resting, we find ourselves doom-scrolling past midnight, sacrificing sleep just to consume one more fleeting piece of content. We have entirely lost the ability to sit in a waiting room, stand in a grocery line, or just exist in silence without reaching for a digital pacifier to soothe the micro moments of boredom. If any of this sounds painfully familiar, I want you to take a deep breath and let yourself off the hook for a moment. You are not weak, and your brain is not broken. In fact, your brain is functioning exactly the way evolution designed it to. As a deeply social species, our ancestors survived by gathering information, staying connected to the tribe, and seeking out novelty. Our neurological reward system, driven by dopamine, is built to crave these things. The developers behind the apps on your phone understand this architecture perfectly. Every like, every comment, every endless scroll is essentially a slot machine pull for your brain, delivering unpredictable bursts of dopamine that keep you coming back for more. You are bringing prehistoric survival instincts to a modern psychological casino. But here is the beautiful part. Acknowledging this attachment is not a reason for guilt. It is a profound opportunity for self-understanding. Recognizing these patterns is your mind waking up to its own programming. When you catch yourself reaching for your phone in a moment of boredom or anxiety, try to pause just for a second. Ask yourself what you are actually looking for in that glowing screen. Is it connection? Is it distraction from a difficult emotion? By stepping back and simply observing your own behavior with curiosity instead of judgment, you reclaim your power. You begin to shift from being a passive consumer of your own life to an active participant. The goal here is not to throw your smartphone into the ocean and move to a remote cabin in the woods, though, admittedly, that does sound deeply tempting sometimes. The goal is intentionality. It is about using this incredible tool to enhance your human experience, rather than letting it serve as a substitute for it. You have the strength to rewrite these digital boundaries and carve out spaces of quiet, unplugged peace in your daily life. I would love to hear about your own experiences with this, so let me know down in the comments which part of the day you find the hardest to disconnect from your screen. If this conversation resonated with you, consider subscribing and joining us as we continue to explore the beautiful, messy inner workings of the human mind. Take care of yourself, and maybe try leaving your phone in another room tonight. Your brain will thank you for it.